I'm Jasmine, and this is assignment 14. Out of the four games that we were supposed to look into, I watched the walkthrough for one of them, Passage, and then I played The End of Us. Um, yeah, let's just dive in. For Passage, the first question was, do these games play themselves? No, this game does not play itself. It does require some participation to advance and gain points. Otherwise, your character would just stand there. You have to use the arrows to move around towards the right and up and down and stuff. Um, the space of the game is kind of weird. It's a 100 by 16 pixel game. There are obstacles to avoid as you move to the right through different kind of scenery in the background. It changes kind of slowly. Um, Walking towards the right increases your score, and I guess that's kind of the goal, and that's the feedback that you're getting to get you motivated to move towards the right to avoid the obstacles. Um, yeah, overall the space was kind of weird for this game. Because it was such a small window, it's hard to kind of know where you're going, and you kind of just have to figure it out as you go. It's kind of like a puzzle. Um, it's not very hard though. It shouldn't be too difficult for most people to maneuver amongst the obstacles. In the beginning, though, you're given a choice, I guess, whether or not to fall in love, and so you have one player, and then if you fall in love, you get a second player, and they're kind of connected together, um, which makes your score go up faster as you move to the right, but it also makes it easier to get stuck within the obstacles. So, I don't know, kind of something. And then the manner that time's being used in the game was kind of weird. At first, I didn't really notice it, but your character is aging and kind of slowing down. Um, and it's a really, I mean, just a few pixels, but you can definitely tell that he's getting older. He and she are getting older. And once your player dies, that's the end of the game, so it's kind of an incentive to move to the right faster and get through the obstacles and get more points. Um, for The End of Us, I played that game. It was kind of interesting. You're like a comet flying through a scrolling like background space with stars and stuff, and you're bound to the viewing window, so you can't like leave that section. Um, there is initial participation required for that game because it shows you that you need to press the arrow buttons to maneuver your comet, and until you press the buttons, the game doesn't actually begin. But once you press the buttons, theoretically, you could walk away and just let the game play itself, and your comet will continue to move through the background, or I guess the background moves behind your comet, whichever. Um, uh, the time for that game was also a little weird. You can't really tell that time is passing, um, except that the stars are scrolling behind your comet, and after a little while, there's a second comet that joins you, and it moves around and stuff, and kind of plays keep away for a little bit. And if you're interacting with the game, you kind of try to bump into it or try to avoid it, I guess, whichever you want. But as you get a little farther, there's some stars that come into the game and pass through the window. And I guess time's really important there because the game doesn't slow down for the player or anything, so it just keeps scrolling. And if you choose to interact with the stars, they make a little noise and they'll light up for whichever color comet hits them. Either, I think it was like purple, maybe blue or orange or something. But the stars keep flying through and they won't come back. So either you interact with them when they're there in the screen, or you miss your opportunity to. So that's one way that time was kind of important in the game. Um, and then at the end of the game, you pass through an asteroid belt, and well, your character gets a little bigger, and then it gets smaller when it passes through the asteroid belt. And then at the end, you crash into the Earth, and then one of the comets exists and continues forward in blank space, and then kind of dwindles to nothingness and dies. And then the stars keep scrolling, but nothing else happens. That's the end of the game, and you have to recycle the page to start it over again. So it's very interesting, but yeah, both of them were kind of boring games. Very simple, but still had story attached, and the time was important. And the space was oddly important as well, so interesting. And then we were supposed to remix the Classmates game, and I chose Travis Wilkie's game, which he said was going to be a progressive exploration type game, if it ever made it to an existence. I thought the YouTube video that he made for it was really good. It was intriguing. The audio and the music were very good. The story was really simple but very funny. The videos were all long enough to make the decision that you wanted to make, and other than the fact that some of the text in the videos was cut off, which is a simple fix and obviously a temporary solution for the game, I wish that the images in the background of the decisions had been a little bit more coherent. I guess they're kind of all over the place, but that's kind of what made it funny, so I don't know. I kind of liked it. Gave it kind of a humorous touch. It was maybe a little bit frustrating that there are so many ways that ended in death, but also it was kind of funny, and all the explanations were pretty good for why it ended that way, so again, I'm not sure I'd change that. For the progressive exploration type game, I like the idea of unlocking new maps and weapons as you went through. It would be cool to unlock cars too, but I know it's kind of I know it's been there and done that type of thing. And then I think it'd be cool to kind of unlock like different people as you met them throughout your story. Like when Tom meets Kate, unlock her as like a friend for a while or whatever. So yeah, overall I thought it was a really interesting game with a lot of potential. So yeah, thanks.